The delicate tomb exotic fusion rifle is pretty epic. First of all, the thing fires a horizontal spread. Second, it has a chance to generate ionic traces. If you just play casually, you may not know the secret behind this weapon though. Some evil entity seems to be stored inside this fusion rifle. Plus, with all the pyramid imagery and features, this definitely can't be good. Today we're going to read the lore of this weapon and try and decipher who or what is awaiting inside. Stuffing alien gods into weapons is nothing new for us Guardians. Take a look at Whisper of the Worm, Touch of Malice, or even 1000 Voices. This season though, we receive the delicate tomb from the season pass, and this thing is littered with darkness artifacts. First, take a look at its appearance. Here is the lore tab for this weapon. The danger within is repulsive to us. They mistake the vessel for its contents. They confuse the pieces with the whole. They see their imprisonment as empowerment. They are hostages of their flesh, unable to see without vision, unable to hear without sound, unable to slake their thirst for fear of drowning. Their ignorance is their saving grace. Yet one among them understands in their limited fashion. They pour from one vessel to another, a welcome change, a new form, another method of gifting death. I am made finite, personal, bright and delicate to hide my true form and intimacy. They think me contained, but I am instead diffused as vapor upon the wind. Once again, I am becoming. So when you read that, who do you think is trapped inside this weapon? Let's go over a couple of options, our first one being the fan favorite in Nezarec. The exotic perk of this weapon is called Traitor's Vessel. From Nezarec's sin, many have speculated that Nezarec betrayed the witness back during the collapse. He is that which is end, that which covets sin, the final god of pain, the purest light, the darkest hour. And he shall rise again. When the guiding shine fades and all seems lost, he will call to you. Fear not, all he offers is not as dark as it may seem, for Nezarec is no demon, but a fiend, arch and vile in ways unknown. He is a path and a way, one of many, and his sin, so wicked, so divine, is that he will never cower when dusk does fall, but stand vigilant as old stars die and new light blinks its first upon his faded eternity. Over the last couple of seasons, we've been getting more hints about Nezarec possibly being a disciple of the Witness and that the lunar pyramid belonged to them at one point. Drifter mentions the fourth tomb of Nezarec back, I believe, in Forsaken, so it would make sense that part of Nezarec, what remains at least, could be stored in this weapon called a delicate tomb. The weapon, as seen in the card, is meant to look bright and hide the darkness residing inside. They think me contained, but I am instead diffused as vapor upon the wind. Now the vapor words there kind of reminded me of strand, maybe this is some type of hint towards that, but we do have the pyramid imagery as we've seen throughout this thing, even when you aim down the sights. So what we believe from last season, the glaive gifted from Ralk to Nezarec being found on the moon by Eris, we assume that Nezarec was a disciple of the moon in the lunar pyramid, but something happened to him. If he died and had many tombs like the Drifter visited the fourth one, pieces of him might still remain, and maybe an important piece is found within this weapon, but why was it created? What about Callus? Now this doesn't seem too likely to me, but we might as well cover it. Callus has been talking a lot about transforming himself into something new. In Haunted, about becoming the Leviathan or the lunar pyramid itself. In other texts, referring to himself as a god.
It is no mere curiosity that drew him to the lunar pyramid. He is a consciousness that spreads out like a vascular system. And he is attempting to become one with the pyramid so that he may control it. So that he may wield its power.
As we can see in Lightfall, Callus does transform, having this new imagery from the cover art. So unless something happens with this weapon in between now and Lightfall, maybe Callus storing himself or connecting in some way to the Witness, it seems unlikely that it would involve this character at all. From what we've seen with Callus, he's already on his way to becoming a right-hand man of the Witness, so why would he need to hide in this weapon? What about Clovis Bray? This one also seems kinda weird, but Banshee reacts to this weapon in an awkward way. Now it's worth noting Banshee and even Zavala and others have reacted this way before when it comes to darkness weapons, but this one seems a little more mysterious and ominous. If you look into it too much, you know that Banshee is related to Clovis Bray being a part of him, and we know that Clovis poured into something new as the weapon states, the Exos, himself in the Exo AI head, and then the Banshee body. Here's what Banshee says when interacting with the weapon and catalyst. Banshee 44 takes your delicate tomb and, after a few moments, installs and calibrates the catalyst. That should do it, he says, but his mechanical brow furrows. Touching that weapon again. I don't know why, but I don't feel good about making it stronger. He hands you the gun, but as you take it, he holds the grip for a moment and looks into your eyes. I know you can handle anything, Guardian, he says, but some things might be better forgotten. He releases the gun and goes back to his business. Another quote from the catalyst says, I don't recognize these symbols. Where do you find that thing anyway? And lastly, what about our Guardian? Is it possible the weapon represents us? Pouring from one vessel to another, the Guardians wield many forms of power, both light and dark, so maybe this is a representation of that. Bright and delicate to hide the true form, Guardians using light to hide the true darkness they have inside of them, possibly in Strand. So who or what do you think is inside this weapon? My personal opinion is Nezarec, the community favorite. We've wanted more of this character ever since Destiny 2, and over the last couple of seasons, last season with the glaive, and this season with an ornament, we've been getting some more. So what you need to know is the Delicate Tomb is a bright weapon hiding a dark truth and possible entity. Anyway, Guardians, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see some other lore and mysteries just like it, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.